What's up? It's Workflow Wednesday. So happy to see you all back. Today, we're talking about something that's often very misunderstood, but so essential, especially if you're working on color grading or want to upgrade your workflow. It's primaries wheels versus log wheels. Today, we're talking about what you can do with both of them, how they fit your workflow, and how you can use them to get better images in your color grading. Let's go. All right, so here we are on the color page of Resolve. We have a simple grayscale image that we're going to start off with just so we can understand what's going on. The reason we're looking at a grayscale image is because if you look at our scopes here, we can see it provides us with a nice visual representation in the form of this line because it's a nice gradation as it goes up. So it provides us a nice visual representation so that we can look at what's actually going on when we do primaries versus log wheels. So let's start off with some basics. First of all, it's important to understand that it's not just one or the other, right? You don't pick one, your favorite one, and then just go with that. They both have different use cases and they're both very useful in your color grading process. So primaries wheels basically divides the waveform into equal parts and affects your images in a linear way. Log wheels, on the other hand, work with your footage in a logarithmic way, and we'll see what that means when we break down the footage that I have in just a second. The most important distinction is usually that primaries is what you usually start off with. It's going to be the thing that you can make broad changes with to your images and establish your look first. Then you can use log wheels to pinpoint specific areas of the image that you need to work on or refine. Or for example, let's say that you added a color to your shadows in your primaries wheels. You can go to your log wheels and then kind of counteract what you did just to kind of bring back some semblance of normal, but still leave your look intact. And we'll talk about what that means in a second. Now, if we look at what each one does on the waveform, then we can start to get a better sense of how we can use them. Primaries wheels, you can see, have the designation of lift, gamma, and gain, and log wheels use shadow, midtone, and highlights. On our grayscale image, if I start messing with the primaries wheels, we can see that the curve is being affected in a pretty linear function. We're essentially taking the waveform and moving the whole thing up and down. Now, we can also accomplish the same thing on our image using curves. If I grab the bottom of the curve and start moving it up and down, we're essentially doing the same thing to the waveform that the primaries wheels did. Now, if we go into our log wheels, however, and start moving the shadows around, we can see that our waveform doesn't react or move in the same way. Here, we're only affecting a specific part of our image, mainly defined by its luminance value on the waveform. Putting that together, we can see how primaries can help us make wide sweeping changes and establish a base look. Log wheels can then further help by dialing in your look. It makes it possible for us to only target very specific parts of our image to achieve a final look. So here I have some raw footage. Let's do some preliminary adjustments to get it sort of in the ballpark. First, we'll use our primaries wheels to make our big adjustments as we're starting out. Once we adjust the contrast and the saturation to how we want it for now, we can start applying what we've learned. First of all, if we look at the highlights on the waveform, we're clipping probably in the area of our lights in the background. So let's move to log wheels and bring them down just in our highlights. You can see we're targeting just that particular section and we're not affecting the rest of the image. Bonus tip here, and I'll leave you with this, we can even further refine our grades by coming to our log wheels and then messing around with our low range and high range defined here by LR and HR. Basically, we're telling Resolve, instead of splitting the low range or LR at 0.333, which is around this area on the waveform, we want to split it either higher or lower, further refining our edits. If we go to the high range, for example, we can move it up from 0.550, which is around here on the waveform, to say somewhere around 0.75. So that way we can really start to only affect the parts of our image above that light value. For example, the lights that we're clipping in the background. So there we go, that's Workflow Wednesday for this week. It was a short one, but take that information and implement it into your workflow in order to make your process better and be more professional along the way. We definitely don't want to be those people that say like, oh, I'm a primaries guy, I'm a log wheels guy, I'm just gonna stick to this because that's what I know and that's how I do what I do. We definitely, as professionals, want to keep improving and expanding our knowledge, and if something works better, then we should learn how to use it. These, obviously, like any other tools, are just that, tools for you to use to get a better end result. So hopefully this elevated your workflow. Don't forget to share this video with someone, leave a comment, like this, be sure to subscribe, and until next time, keep creating. La de vedere.